Let me start by talking about why the University of Montana. First, it starts with the students. You have an incredible student body here, and much like San Jose State University, a third of your students are first in their family to go to college, and that's very important to me. You also have diversity, not in the same way that San Jose State does in ethnic and racial diversity, but certainly socioeconomic diversity. You have a growing Hispanic population of students, and you also have a significant number of Native American students. And the diversity of this campus, I think, is what certainly brings great interest to me. The other thing that's very interesting is your research. It's amazing to me the amount of growth that you've had over the last 5 years in research. You're generating about $90 million of research expenditures here. That's almost doubled in the last 4 years. And for a campus that's had difficulty, challenges with budget, it's a remarkable achievement. And it's vitally, I think, important that that continues to grow. Also very interested in the complexity of offerings here. You offer certificates to professional to PhDs. And you have a very interesting environment with your affiliate campuses, Montana Western, Montana Tech, Helena, and Bitterroot. And that complexity of offerings and campuses is also very interesting and exciting. The other component, I certainly would be remiss if I didn't talk about your athletics programs. And I know that you beat handily Savannah State, I believe, last Saturday. And you're playing Eastern Washington next week, although I'm sorry to hear about your quarterback. That was very sad. And I bring up athletics for an important reason. A lot of learning, a lot of experiences happen outside of the classroom. And the opportunities that your students on this campus have to engage with each other and create lifelong friendships is something that's very important to me. I went to University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I went to 3 Final Fours as a fan. And the relationships I built going to those games and also going to football games has lasted me a lifetime. You also have very strong performing arts programs here, but it's so important there's a sense of place at this campus for our students, and I think that's something that's very appealing to me. And also I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Missoula. Carrie and I had an opportunity to visit this campus about a month ago. The fires were going on, but the wind was actually cooperating. And we spent a wonderful weekend taking a look at the campus and the community, meeting with people. We're both outdoor enthusiasts. I love to mountain bike. Any disc golfers here? I love to play disc golf. Okay, great. So I'm a PDGA 85 handicap, so I'd love to get out there and play some disc golf if I could. I like to fish, although most of my fishing is the pelagic species, big tuna. I've done some trout fishing, but I was interested to see on the tour with Jed the other day that you actually had a fly casting class out in the courtyard, and I'd certainly be involved in that. So you have a wonderful, I think, community here, and certainly something I'd like to be a part of. Talk a little bit about why me, what do I offer and can provide at this institution. I come from a university that is the economic upward mobility institution in Central California, and we pride ourselves in generating educational offerings for students that enrich their lives. And they're not only successful, but their families are successful, and their future generations of their families are successful. And I'm very proud of being a part of that. The student experience is certainly important to me. Research, I have considerable experience in research. We generate about $55 million of research expenditures a year, certainly not even at the level that you're doing at $90 million a year. But I'm the president of the Research Foundation. And I have my own research agenda still ongoing. I've got a $3 million grant from the Department of Education focusing on flipped classrooms. I just had a 9th edition of my purchasing textbook published, and I have a couple articles also in process. I have experience with fundraising. At the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, I was involved in a $500 million successful comprehensive campaign. I was on the steering committee and the launch committee for that campaign. And at the Cal Poly Pomona, I was involved in a successful $150 million campaign and raised over $15 million for the College of Hospitality Management there. Built 2 facilities, 2 buildings, the first LEED Gold certified facilities on campus, and very, very proud of those efforts. And I co-chair currently at my institution, we just kicked off a comprehensive campaign as well, and co-chair that with the Vice President of Advancement. I'm also a very people-oriented person. I like to engage in management by walking around, and I feel that I'm very transparent and open to communications, and I think you'd find that with me as well when you were to engage with me. I know that my primary mission is students, and I'm very student-focused. We have a process, a strategic plan at my university focusing on student success. We spent the last 3 years really focusing on improving graduation rates, 4-year graduation rates, 6-year graduation rates, and addressing the underrepresented minority achievement gap. We've invested over $26 million in improving graduation rates, and I think that those strategies will come in handy here as well. I have significant experience in strategic planning. I taught strategic planning for 8 years at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I was the Associate Dean for Strategic Initiatives there and I helped build a campus in Singapore and also designed one in the United Arab Emirates. I've built strategic plans at Cal Poly Pomona, and I'm the co-chair of our strategic planning process at San Jose State that I co-chair with the chair of the Academic Senate. And we just kicked off that strategic planning process last week called Our Journey. I have significant experience in budgeting, which may come in handy here, I think. What do you think? Besides working at a very complex and large institution in the largest university system in the country, I've been very involved in building budget models for 3 universities. And enrollment management, enrollment planning. We have a different challenge at San Jose State University with enrollment. We've actually over-enrolled this year, which I know to you would sound like a great idea. But we had 55,000 applicants this year, and we admitted about 16,000 undergraduate students. And we're expecting about 3,500 first-time freshmen and 3,500 transfer students, and we wound up with 4,500 first-time freshmen and 4,500 transfer students. And as you can imagine, that creates a whole host of challenges for us, including not having enough student housing, class offerings, and the way in which we're actually funded. We receive tuition for those additional students, but not state appropriation resources. So I've worked a lot with challenges in addressing enrollment management issues, and I think that may come in handy. Other, I think, strengths is my energy. I love what I do as a provost. I'm excited about the possibility of being a president. It's a 24/7 job. And as you heard earlier, I play hard, but I also work hard. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to engage with the university in a variety of ways, externally, certainly, but also internally with the campus community. Regarding fundraising, I think I talked a little bit about that, but I'm also very interested in engaging with the community in a variety of ways. Talk a little bit about, I know I've been asked by a number of people, what are my short and long-term plans for the university? And it's difficult to give, I think, comprehensive plans, but some preliminary ideas that I'd like to mention is, first, I would focus on really building and growing the image and the relationship with the university, with the community. I would focus internally on addressing the morale issues with faculty, staff, and students. I think there's some work to do there, and I would certainly be engaged in doing that. I think there's a lot of conversations and communications that need to occur from the provost, from the president's office, and I would be certainly involved in that. I would like to know more about your Forward 125 and your strategic vision and your prioritization plans and how those all fit together. I've read them, but I'm truly not understanding how they all gel together into one comprehensive plan. I think that would be important. A nerve there, maybe. I want to know more and be engaged and involved in how you're addressing sexual violence, sexual harassment, retaliation, discrimination efforts in this campus and addressing those challenges. Title IX is a very complex issue, and it's certainly evolving rapidly. And I want to be involved in ensuring that we're doing all that we can to make sure that our faculty, staff, and students are safe. Some midterm plans. I've certainly read your strategic vision, and some things really caught my eye. The first one is reimagining the heart of the curriculum. and the idea of combining your fields of humanities and the arts with the sciences and creating interdisciplinary opportunities for faculty to co-teach and providing those educational opportunities for students, I think would be very important. And that's very interesting to me, and I think I would be approaching that plan and reading that in detail. I read that you're interested in growing the research enterprise even more so than it is right now, and pursuing an R1 designation, Carnegie classification. And I think you're well on your way. I think that the Vice President of Research and Creative Scholarship has done a tremendous job in growing research here, and there's more to do. And I think there's a lot of work to be done, and continue to expand the idea of this being the premier liberal arts public research institution in the country. You're ranked, I think, in U.S. News and World Reports at 207. And although rankings aren't everything, they are a bellwether of how well you're doing. I think there's a lot of opportunities to grow the image, the brand, and the reputation of this institution. And I'd like to be a part of that as well.